Hi, guys. Welcome back to Take Control Podcast. This week, 3 mistakes to avoid when starting CrossFit. Now, let's start with number 1. I think this is the most important goal, is neglecting our nutrition. So that's our first mistake. We've all heard the saying, you can't outwork a bad diet, and that's true. I've tried it. I've tested it. It doesn't work. And so we have to dial in our nutrition. And here at CrossFit Control, we have a simple approach to nutrition. We put you in 3 different categories. And depending on your starting background, you would fall into one of those categories. Number 1 is eating for quality, looking at the plate method, how many meals a day we should be eating. We help you map that out. And then number 2 would be dialing in our protein and our calorie intake. And then 3 is looking at all 3 of the macronutrients and trying to balance all 3 of those out. And so depending on where you're starting, your background, your knowledge of nutrition, you would fall into one of those 3 categories. So that's the number 1 mistake that we see, is people try to outwork a bad diet. Number 2, overtraining. Now, I understand when starting something new, we want to go all in. But we have to give our body time to adapt to this new program. CrossFit is constantly varied functional movements executed at high intensity. And that's the way these workouts are written. They're written to be performed at high intensity relative to the athlete. And without giving our body time to adapt and trying to go in there and work super hard, the body will break down and it takes longer to recover. So understanding, now I'm not saying don't come in 5 days a week. I'm saying understand when to push the intensity and when to treat these as active recovery days. And that's very important. So that's number 2, is overtraining. Now, when it comes to overtraining, if you have a good coach, someone who understands you and your goals and your body, they can help you. They can help you choose where to push a pace, where to increase intensity, what are you good at, what do we need to work on, and they will help you understand how to use these as active recovery days to allow your body to rest and eventually move forward with high intensity days more frequently. Number 3 is starting this program without goals. Now, oftentimes I do all the intros here, and most people want to lose weight. And I was one of those people too, about 10 years ago. But without understanding how to approach these goals, we don't have these mapped out. So we have an acronym. It's SMART goals: specific, measurable, actionable, relative, and time sensitive. And if we break that down, so if we look at, we want to lose weight. Well, how much weight do we want to lose? So that's the specific side. How much weight do we want to lose? And ideally, we can lose about 0.5% of our body weight per week and make it sustainable. So having a coach help you break that down is the goal actually specific and attainable. From there, is it measurable? Did we lose the weight? Yes or no? Pretty simple. Attainable. So can we actually lose that much weight in that amount of time? And I'm using weight because that's the easiest one for me to help you understand, but we can apply this everywhere across the board, whether it's a specific movement that we want to get, whether it's a weight that we want to be able to put up, whether we want to gain weight or lose weight or change our body composition. All of these things matter. Is it relative to our everyday life? That's also important. You know, if you're an athlete and you want to come in and you want to run an Ironman, but we sit behind a desk all day, is it truly relative to what we are searching for in life? And then time sensitive. Without putting a deadline on our goal, we'll just keep putting it off. And we see that all the time. How many of us have had a deadline at work and we wait until the last day to get it done? And so follow that acronym: SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, relative, and time sensitive. Write down your goals, no more than 3 goals at a time. 1 to 3 goals is what we're searching for. But Have goals when you're starting your new fitness program, and you will see far more results than you would if you didn't. So, again, the 3 mistakes that we see when people are starting CrossFit: they neglect their nutrition, overtraining, and not having clearly defined goals. That's it for this episode. Until next time, thank you.